What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
So recently, it was announced that Shaquille O'Neal would have his jersey retired, hanging high in the rafters at the Orlando Magic's arena. The Orlando Magic are paying homage to the services of Shaquille O'Neal in that Orlando Magic uniform back in the 90s. Now, I chuckled when I heard the news because I was going to make a video relatively soon regarding the great players, or lack thereof, that has played for the Orlando Magic franchise. Now, I'll tell you a story that happened November. I went back home to visit my family in the Orlando, Florida area in November. Of course, straight off the plane, I pull up, get some tickets, because guess who's coming to town? The Los Angeles Lakers. Check into my hotel within walking distance of the arena. Walk my ass right down to that arena. Got my seats, got my popcorn, got my soda. Enjoyed the show. Lakers lost. And as I'm sitting there watching the game, I thought about it. I was like, I wonder what players they have hanging up, whose jerseys are hanging up in the rafters of this arena. Surely, I know Shaq's got to be up there. So then, I look up, start panning my head around. I see there are 2 Eastern Conference Championship banners they have from when Shaq led them in the 90s and when Dwight Howard led them in the 2000s, the late 2000s. And lo and behold, there was a jersey hanging in the rafters. Was it Shaquille O'Neal? No. Was it Dwight Howard? No. Was it the player you're probably thinking of or trying to think of? No. There was a number 6 Orlando Magic jersey hanging in the rafters that says, "The Fans." The only jersey hanging up dedicated to the fans of the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic were established as an NBA franchise in 1989 as an expansion team. So over 30 years now, there had not been a player that they felt like deserved to have their jersey retired. Until now, obviously. And as I'm sitting there during the Laker game, looking at this jersey that says "The Fans," I'm like, wow. They really haven't had a strong pool of talent, or at least a strong pool of talent that has stuck around. And as I'm looking up at that jersey, I start just thinking about all the great players, or lack thereof, that have played a healthy amount of years at a all-star caliber level for the Orlando Magic. And I'm scrolling and I'm thinking, and I'm like, wow, this franchise has really lacked that, marquee franchise player that's stuck around for the long haul for at least 10 years. Give me 10 years. They have never had that. The few times they got somebody, they never hit that 10-year mark. They were always like, "I'm frustrated, tired of losing, ship me the hell out of here. Via by trade, or I'm leaving in free agency." It has been like that for the Orlando Magic. And even Shaquille O'Neal, who's getting his jersey retired, that's off his sheer greatness, because Shaq only played 4 years with the Orlando Magic. Only 4. Before he got the hell up out of there and went to LA. But in those 4 years, Shaq was phenomenal. Though, He gets a lot of heat for losing to the Houston Rockets. Couldn't do anything with Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm not saying he sucked in the series, but Hakeem did cook him. But Shaq got his numbers as well. But they couldn't do anything with Hakeem. But Shaq did lead them to that finals. Brought to Orlando their first ever Eastern Conference Championship. Their first finals appearance. And like I said, in those 4 seasons, Shaq was a beast. He averaged over 27 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, almost 3 blocks per game in the Orlando Magic uniform. And those numbers, statistically, his averages with the Orlando Magic are better than his averages with any other team in his entire career. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that he was a better basketball player with the Magic than he was during that, run with the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying statistically, those are where his best numbers resided. Made the All-Star team every year he's with the Magic. Couple of All-NBA nominations. I believe he even had a scoring title. And, of course, Rookie of the Year with the Orlando Magic. Hands down, the best player to ever play with the Orlando Magic was Shaquille O'Neal. But when you look at length of time, that might not be enough to get you in the rafters alone. But considering how great he was, dominant he was, coming into the league, and able to, lead them in a long playoff run, something has to be said for that. And when Shaq came into the league, we had never seen a player quite his size with his abilities and how he plays the game. We ain't really never seen nothing like Shaq quite before. That was a big guy, man. And the Lakers version was even bigger. But he had a bit slimmer build, definitely better shape when he was with Orlando. But he was athletically, he was just a beast, big guy, man, big guy. Even in his slimmer days, big guy. But he was a beast in the paint. And if he definitely got the drop step on you or got you deep near the basket, wasn't a whole lot you could do. You had to keep him as far away from the basket as you possibly could. But eventually, his skills got better and he started developing a pretty consistent baby hook and things like that. So like I said, and I was thinking about all the players, and I was like, surely there's got to be somebody else worthy of having their jerseys hung in those rafters. Worthy Orlando Magic player. I think Dwight Howard will make it up there at some point. Dwight played, he never hit the 10-year mark, but he got close. I think he did what? No, yeah, because Dwight came in, 2004, 2005 season. Yeah, so he got close to hitting the 10-year mark, but he did lead the Magic to the NBA Finals once, like Shaq did. And defensively, he was far better than Shaq, but he wasn't as good as Shaquille O'Neal offensively. But Dwight Howard, one day, I'm sure, will have his jersey hanging up there. Who knows? A lot of people don't like his personality and like his off-the-court lifestyle, but that shouldn't have anything to do with it. Penny Hardaway, right? Penny, if you watch Penny play, Penny Hardaway, before all the injuries he had, Penny Hardaway was probably a top 5 player in the league. Some people say top 3 basketball player in the league. Penny was a monster. And the Shaq and Penny duo was incredible. Remember, it was supposed to be Shaq and Chris Webber. The Magic were supposed to draft Chris Webber. But they were working the phone lines and decided to go with Penny Hardaway instead. And a lot of people thought that was a bad decision, but not so much. I think it turned out pretty well. Fantastic duo. Penny was a monster. But Penny Hardaway, eventually injuries got to him. And Penny only played 5 or 6 seasons with the Orlando Magic? But he was just as equally responsible or close to it for getting the Magic to the finals. No doubt Shaq was the alpha dog, but Penny was like right there. He was right there. Penny wasn't getting carried. Penny was helping lead that team. And I get to thinking, who else? All right, obviously, Tracy McGrady. T-Mac only played 4 years with the Magic as well before he wanted to get the hell up out of there and got traded to the Houston Rockets for Stevie Francis, Cuttino Mobley, and something else, I think. But, T-Mac's numbers were close to Shaq's. Well, actually, he scored more points than Shaq. T-Mac averaged like 28 points per game in those 4 years. Like 7.5 rebounds, 5 assists. T-Mac was amazing. And for the most part, he was relatively healthy during his time with the Orlando Magic. He would miss games primarily due to his back problems. He would constantly have he would have back spasms from time to time. And eventually, the back just got so bad after his tenure with the Magic. Didn't have a whole lot of playoff success. Almost upset the Detroit Pistons in the 2004 playoffs. I think that was the 2004 playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Who knows? If the Magic upset the Pistons, maybe the Lakers win that championship that year in the 2004 finals. Alternate universe type talk. I don't think T-Mac is going to end up having his jersey retired, probably because of lack of playoff success. But he was a great player. So then, outside of Shaq, Dwight, Penny, and T-Mac, I had to think really hard. And there was no other player at their caliber, T-Mac, Penny, Dwight, and Shaq, that has played for this franchise that deserves to have their jersey retired. Grant Hill, he was brought over to be the dynamic duo with Tracy McGrady, but Grant Hill was always hurt. Now, granted, in his seasons played with the Orlando Magic, during the time he actually played and wasn't missing games, he performed admirably. 15, 16 points per game. I don't know, 5, 6 rebounds, something like that. But the guy couldn't stay on the court. Grant Hill, in an alternate universe, is a top 10 basketball player of all time. Grant Hill is a beast, bro. Sometimes, it's just not in the cards for some people. Outside Grant Hill, who else? Nick Anderson, a high-quality role player. Scott Skiles. No. Horace Grant. No. Hell. Darrell Armstrong. Darrell Armstrong was a fan favorite. It was kind of fun watching Darrell Armstrong play. Little guy, but just lightning quick. I think they had a nickname for him here in Orlando. Did they call him the Flash before Dwayne Wade got the nickname the Flash? They used to call him something. Darrell Armstrong. Was it the Flash? He was quick as hell, man. I vote Darrell Armstrong. Darrell Armstrong and Andrew DeClercq. Jerseys retired by the Orlando Magic. Wishing better days for the Orlando Magic. Hopefully you all can break this 30-plus-year-old curse and draft a player or find a player that's willing to stick with you for at least 10 years that can perform at a high level. They got Paolo now. He looks promising. But we'll see what happens. It's crazy because, Orlando Magic isn't really considered a high-profile franchise like New York Knicks, Dallas Mavericks, Los Angeles Lakers, Miami Heat. But they aren't necessarily, a small market like Milwaukee Bucks or, Oklahoma City Thunder. They're somewhere in the middle. Orlando's not a bad place to be. It ain't Miami, but Orlando has its own perks too. Trust me. So, I've always found it kind of interesting that more players don't want to go to Orlando and play basketball. A lot of players make these moves for, what does the area have? What are the women like? The food like? The venues like? The things to do? Orlando has a lot of that stuff, man. The mommies is out there. If you're looking for the woman, the mommies is out there. Shout out to all my Puerto Rican mommies. Shout out to all my Cubanas out there in Orlando holding it down. Y'all beautiful, baby, beautiful. They got things to do. They got attractions. It's a tourist area. People from all over the world are coming to Orlando, all over. All over coming to Orlando. I've always wondered why it doesn't attract more stars. If I had an NBA contract today, I'd go back home and play for Orlando Magic. I absolutely would. I'd do it. I wonder if the Orlando Magic just felt like they can't be having people come up to this arena and see that the only jersey hanging in their rafters is one that says the fans. Part of me feels like we have to show that we had somebody representing us, even if it was 4 years. We have something to show, something to display for our 30-plus years. So we got to throw somebody up there. So Shaquille O'Neal, numbers were amazing. Wish he would have stayed longer. Throw his jersey up there. Good, retire it. Throw his jersey up there. Shaq, play here. You should come play over here. I'm wondering if it's like that. I'm not taking anything away from Shaq. He's worthy of having his jersey retired there, but I'm just saying. I don't think anybody's batting the eye if they decided not to, considering that he only played 4 years, despite the success that they had. No championship, but they were a damn good team. But someone could easily look at it and be like, he just played 4 seasons, so maybe that's not quite enough to get your jersey up. I can see it going both ways. Anyway, let me know what you think about it. What's your opinion? Do you believe Shaq deserves his jersey retired in those rafters? Why or why not? Let me know in the comment section. Shout out to Shaquille O'Neal. Well deserved, my friend. I will be watching your jersey retirement right here on this channel. Reaction style, y'all know how we do, right? Appreciate y'all for stepping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Check out our Shaquille O'Neal playlist, and I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.